What's up, everybody out there? It's your homeboy Sleepy, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Project Webtoon Podcast for another week of our bi-weekly review show. Of course, as always, I am joined once more by our host down there. How's it going, Seraph?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Looks like you were scrambling there for a hot second.
Drop a few things.
Yeah. And as always, of course, I bring with me my big man. It's Ark. How's it going, buddy?
Again, with the redundancy.
I mean, I'm always going to continue. Maybe one of these days. Hey, the cat, Schrodinger's cat, I'll always flip that coin. I'll see every time, just in case. One time it'll land heads, I swear. But we're back for a new episode here, and we've got a big list to cover this time. Granted, only a few chapters out of each one of them, but we're going to try and cover everything as much as possible. Coming at you guys here, of course, with The Beginning After the End, Descent of Demonic Master, Inso's Law, Legendary, Moonlight, Sculptor, Mookhyang, Dark Lady, Solo Leveling, Peerless Dad, and finally, all of us caught up in God of High School. Oh, that was a trudge. But yeah, definitely before we go ahead and get started into this, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below so you can be informed of any of our new episodes as they pop out, and definitely give us a like if you enjoyed this video. But without further ado, let's hop right into some discussions here. I think let's actually start off here on, I don't know if we want to start off on the longest one or the shortest one. Let's try to cover this one since we didn't get to it last week. How about we talk with some Inso's Law? So, Seraph, you actually just finished the latest 2 chapters here before I did too.
Poor Yoon.
Poor Hyun. Oh, yeah, so just a little quick recap.
How are you gonna confess to somebody and then fucking...
Oh, come on.
They
like,
don't
that's
even
not...
realize you confess to them.
Like, that's not, like, the most common of, like, of novel tropes for this kind of thing.
That's true. Like, he even looked at dead in the eye and was like, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
With the most serious face possible.
But we know what's going on. Like, they do because she's the main character, but she doesn't realize she's the main character, so...
She still don't realize it, and it's okay. Like, this is how it plays out. This is how it goes.
True. Yeah. Well, Dana is still, as always, completely probably lost in the whole thing of thinking that everyone else is main characters and she's just the side character and trying to get out of this world. With the least amount of her feelings. I don't think
she wants to get out.
I mean, she's so wrapped up in it without like trying to like hurt her own mental feelings and also the characters, because it seems like even they kind of like start to have a little bit of a lapse of this, especially since, you know, one homeboy is it basically made like more or less a memory wall, you know, that he's got in his room. So if she disappears, he's just got all of these notes of this person.
Dude, the sun.
Yeah, but these last 2 chapters, we with the recap there for that, but Hyun and was it Chinho or Chinhu? They both went out to the patio to basically talk, and more or less the homeboy just basically squared up on him and was like, so when you gonna tell me that you like Dan I? And he's just like, wait, what?
What you mean?
I don't know what you're talking about, homie. But yeah, he just breaks down that when he how long he's liked her, and like him actually confessing to her, and her just like
hit that Jocelyn, you can't
just
see me.
Straight up. It was a little messed up. I mean, the fact that he even did it at the same point, he does the whole confession as a reaction to another person trying to confess to him. So it falls almost in like those 2 tropes of like, I'm actually being truthful, but I'm also doing this because I'm trying to get out of this other tough situation of another person is telling me their feelings. So kind of stack tropes on tropes there. But we've been so far in the story, like this far up to, and we haven't heard much of the interactions of the kings, at least how they view Danai. Because so far we've always seen it as like they all view her as a friend, and even though she thinks she's, you know, lesser than them, they don't see themselves as any more above her, worthy that she should be there. But now we're actually starting to get out like, oh, two of them did like her, so who else in the group?
To branch out toward the inner relationship part.
Exactly.
Themselves.
Exactly. So
I like it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we always knew that, you know, Euro Yang likes Deadeye. I mean, she's been pretty much the most vocal.
That's a send-out. That's guaranteed shit, right?
Just the constant refrain of that.
The ship has sailed off the second this bitch started, right?
I mean, you remember the chapter before this when they're on the bus and she just straight up goes, "I love you," and she's like, "Oh, okay, that's real nice and fun," and everyone's just staring at her like, "What? Something in my hair?" So, I mean, if Euro Yang isn't laying on thicker than any of the guys, I don't know what's going on there. But with our male leads here, so now we've got two like hidden confessions. Do we see possibly any of the others actually like maybe coming out and saying anything to the rest of them? Or do you think maybe they'll band behind one person and like, all right, you're the one that should actually like confess?
No, I think they're all going to end up fighting over it, period. That's how this works. The tropes remain.
Hey, man, this is trope simulator, dog. We gotta expect that when he just said there.
The tropes remain. It's just that the target of the tropes are different than what she believes it is. That's all it is.
Okay, I mean, yeah, the tropes do remain, but so far, I mean, she even like very clearly, you know, guesses and even sees some of those tropes come her way. So do you really think that they'll get into a fight of an actual fight between them? Because granted, they've been friends for this long, and we're just now. I don't think that's going
to be a choke each other out.
Like, until one of them actually hurts her, there's going to be no fight between them.
Yeah. Because
as far as all of them are aware, they are at worst. At worst, they are all at the same level as everyone, at the same appearance level as anyone else. Like, she's already listed that, oh, not these hair colors, not these things. You guys can't be pretty. You can't be this smart. You can't, like, literally everything who defines them, she's already said no to. So, like, everyone is
it down.
Yeah, they are all at the same level at worst. So until one of them emotionally hurts her, none of them are going to fight each other. There's no point when they all know that they all stand on the same ground as one another.
Okay, but I mean, then that throws out your theory of them fighting. But now with the added in of Rudali coming in, and I mean, granted, he was told the same thing, like, oh, she'll never go with you because you have blonde hair and she doesn't go for guys but that has not at all deterred him from like,
yo, that's got superhuman abilities.
I mean,
jumping from second story windows
every day. But no, like the fact that like he's almost trying to like very much circle around the tropes that should occur. He sits by her on the bus. Now they have, at the end of this chapter, there's going to be a boy-girl pairing for representatives for this game, which I'm sure will somehow end up with those two. Like, it seems like he's trying to push all those tropes where they are alone the most. And he's very, very, very forwardly made the comment that like, I mean, yeah. I'm just waiting for like when the break actually hits his face. That's what I'm wondering. So you say they're like they won't fight until someone emotionally hurts her. Do you think, what if Rudal is the one that's actually going to emotionally hurt her, like someone from outside the group? Do you think that would bring them together in a different way? I mean, granted, she seems to already be building up her own secondary circle of friends with like the B, the class she's in, but almost like the B versions of the Four Kings. So,
man,
yeah, man. I don't know if that's a man like I don't care or man I don't know.
As in,
you're unsure. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I think the trope here will be that the shenanigans continue with her not knowing what the fuck's going on.
Okay. So
yeah,
I can see that. I mean, we can guess for that one for sure that it'll continue in the same manner. I'm still waiting to see we still haven't seen one homeboy make another appearance yet, even though we had a chapter with the delinquents reoccur. But
homeboy from the beach.
Yeah, we still haven't seen him show back up yet again.
Honestly, was kind of hoping because
they were handling
it off. They were lifting it off. It's like that guy had brown hair. He had yada yada. He had all these things.
It basically,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
She labeled, yeah. She basically labeled that guy as the one person that didn't fit any of the things she wasn't looking for. So, yeah. But still, after the end with this entire chapter going out, still excited to continue to go through and see either what the tropes will continue to be or if they try to subvert any of those tropes going through. Because usually once the trope becomes even so apparent to her, she basically will just like shoot that down right away. Hell, there's even been like a call out from like one of the other students in there, like, doesn't this feel like a weird shonen or something? Like they blurted out and she's just like, oh, okay, someone else notices that this is kind of bullshit too. Yeah, anything else I missed on that one for those chapters that you wanted to guys bring up? Nothing.
No.
Nope.
No,
really.
we spoke about everything.
We covered it all pretty much.
Maybe not the bit where she's confused as to what's his name? The one character who she believes is a girl.
Liruda.
Yeah. She thinks that Liruda and also Yoon have some sort of like, oh no, these two together kind of thing. And she thinks that he's talking about Lee when he's really talking about her, and it's like, oh, I don't want to get involved in this.
the confused shipping and misworded calls and representations. Like, yeah, she's all over the board on that.
Mm-hmm.
I can only hope that she tries to do for the trope being that she tries to get those two to be either somehow the match pair up in some way. Like she tries to force it and it's just like, nope, wasn't what we're going for. Not at all. But all right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll move on to our next one here that we got out for the gate. Let's actually move over down into the demonic world with the descent of the masters. So another fun quip episode with our boy
girl was making her moves.
Yep. So Ark was right as always. She made appearance again in the chapter, but this time a little bit more. I won't say a little bit more focused, but definitely a little bit more strong-headed towards what was going down. So I'm trying to remember what the actress name actually was again. Do either of you two remember? I know.
No.
Seraph will look it up here, but
Yeah.
So
You mean she's a crazy ass bitch?
I mean, I don't think she's a crazy ass bitch. I mean, everyone in that world's crazy.
I think you mind one way or another. Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, first we started out with Junho making a for some reason wanting to go back to the oh my god, why can't I think of the orphanage? Yes, wanting to go back to the orphanage.
There you go.
And him trying to, for some reason, he wants to buy gifts for all the kids, and his friend tells him, he's like, you don't need to do that. They just want to see you. But like, he just ends up buying like a store
and shit.
Yeah, and he just buys a store for them, and just because. But I gotta remember how much money this guy
he
actually
likes the
has.
little kids, and plus, like at this point, they kind of hold like sentimental value to them because he's been there a couple of times now.
Yeah,
to help take care of the kids, and to see sister.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to hold on to that some level.
He's just, and plus they're at an orphanage. I wouldn't blame him to try and be the big brother. Trying to buy them things that they probably
wouldn't get.
Or probably wouldn't get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So homeboy, buying all the toys, getting all the little kids happy, but he challenges homeboy to the game that he plays professionally.
League of Legends.
League of Legends, not League of Legends. What's up?
I don't understand how they play the game of League of Legends against each other like that. Like 1v1 ARAM?
I guess maybe.
I mean, you can do custom games. You could still 1v1 in like Summoner's Rift and stuff.
Yeah, there's ways to get around that. But either way,
So,
Jinho apparently destroys him, which is
no, he barely won, but he won.
which is still surprising. Because I mean, I think he played a game with someone else and he just lost horribly. So, because he's just not used to pretty much how everything works on this world that he's back on. But after that, he ends up going back to, he was trying to get him to help him with his business venture, but that's when, of course, our actress lady shows up and...
Got the phone call from actress lady to go on a business meeting. To try and recruit Jinho for another gig.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, she just wanted to be with him.
In reality, this was just more of more an acquisition than it was just a meeting. But yeah, homeboy gets on the meeting with her, and like when she's trying to convince him to like join up and see the world or like do more, and he gives that whole speech about how like it's all about time and importance to him, like what's important with the amount of time I have. And why I choose not to do something that you may find interesting over what I want to do and you may find, very minimal or not as important. But yeah, I like to look into his psyche again at this current point, especially after the talk with other homeboy from his regimen coming in and telling him like how he was kind of acting off with, trying to handle the situation of everybody else, trying to control his sister, trying to control his dad, trying to
handle everything on his own.
Yeah, trying to do all that.
Letting people do that.
Put trust into them, and him giving her that speech about like, it's like, well, I can't. After taking that in, like, I can't control everything, and I can't be sure when something is gonna come through, and it just may turn bad. So it's better to focus on what I actually have time to enjoy and put my energy into that rather than just go off and do whatever. And yeah, I really liked that, like, real down to earth talk from him, even for all the crazy shit that happens in here at time to time. And granted, it's been subtly quiet right now. Nothing too major has really shown up since, Assassin Homeboy got taken care of.
Astray.
Astray. So, I'm glad that, every now and then when we get to these long moments, we get a nice another peek into our main NC's psyche and like where he's at kind of in a developmental stage, like what he's kind of learned and even
developing again back into his world compared to the world that he lived in over, in that. Yeah. I mean, even showing him like, what, like him giving him lessons to like, okay, this is kind of why you ended up getting killed even in your own world, is because you didn't trust other people. Granted, as a demonic master, you're trained to not trust others. You're only trained to, observe and respect the most powerful. And even then, you're always testing their limits. So, he kind of sees like, oh, that flaw in his previous protege before he betrayed him. Like, the real reason this might have gone down that way is because I was too afraid to, put any faith. It was more or less, it was my fault. But yeah, so yeah, just a nice little slow, real subtle episode, getting a little bit into the emotions a little bit more, but always, of course, ending on a funny note with homegirl just basically going, what the hell is that bullshit? I'm gonna go get him. I like it.
That boy is mine. He's gonna be mine. Yeah, so he's got another personal rival kind of on himself right now. I don't know how long she'll stick around, especially if granted, seemingly with the way this is handling, I feel like they're gonna run into a trope with her, like
being a love interest of sorts.
Not even just a love interest, but just the fact, like, he's kind of a dangerous motherfucker that they're either gonna see or they're gonna find out that, she has some connection to him and lo and behold, kidnap or target. So use her for bait for something. The whole thing with his sister was already kind of a little bit of an edge towards that. That's what they were kind of getting at. And I feel like just adding in this other person is kind of just giving another hint of more people to kind of worry about for the homeboy. But we'll have to see where it comes out with. I'm not sure. We've still got like a ton of people in the background that have not like made any peeps or words in a while. I was kind of hoping he's the one disciple he has in this world would show up again. Like he'd call him in, because I mean, if anybody he could trust, it would be him. I mean, the dude is basically loyal to him, hands down. Like
the one who's also the bald dude in the mountains.
The bald dude in the mountains. He's also a demonic practitioner, but he's to like specifically to his clan that serves him. So I'm kind of wondering if he'll make an appearance here again at some point, because if anybody would be great to just have in the background to watch other people, him.
To have like a scout.
Yeah, more or less. So yeah, hopefully with the next couple of chapters, we'll definitely get some more strong story, and we'll get some more character development all around for everybody else. I am still waiting for a few other characters to maybe make some appearances and do some time with him.
I'm waiting for the other two kings to show up.
Yeah, I don't know why
the Red King show up, and then like they mentioned that there was 3 of them in total, and they haven't shown the other 2 yet.
I don't know if there's.
I mentioned them if you're not going to show them after so many chapters. You know
I don't know if it's a region thing for them. I don't know if maybe it's jurisdiction, like they're not supposed to F in someone else's territory. I mean, just them releasing Astray was kind of against the rules supposedly. So I don't know if they're kind of recovering from that whole incident either. But yeah, I would like to see some of the other kings, definitely some other people of the association other than just the one daughter showing up.
Or I would like to see the top hat guy again.
Yeah, either him or because he's mentioned that his master is interested in him, and I'm kind of like, okay, so we've seen basically like one probably semi-level high person, and then one disciple, and then another lackey, but we haven't seen like any of the other masters actually make full-on contact with him either yet. So, and they're supposedly like the more public organization than the where the Red King is, where they kind of stay hidden in the shadows. So I'm kind of wondering if they can make an appearance maybe more like to the one president, because that would probably be a better way for them to communicate, rather than basically, since the one communication they did try, just catching him in his job did not go over well. But yeah, either way, I'm definitely excited to see more and more from this story as it keeps going forward. Hopefully we'll get a few more chapters. We'll probably end up getting a chapter this weekend, since I know we only got one in our week off. I think our 2 week off, we only got one.
Yeah, week or 2 weeks, we only got one chapter.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get another one. It'll probably end up dropping this very weekend right now. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and let's actually move on here to another one for us. Let's move right over. Let's actually, we didn't talk about this last time. Let's go talk to the Dark Lady one more time. Mookhyang. So, boy.
One chapter come out. Anyone else?
There was only one.
Right, okay.
72?
Yep. Okay.
Yep. I thought it was a misprint at first for the site I went to, because it starts off. It's a flashback. It's a flashback, and I was like, they never did this before, really. And it was like a long flashback, so I was like, and then I scrolled down. I was like, okay, no, they're just filling you in here. So, but yeah. So homeboy fought the Titan, basically lost to the Titan. And figuring out like
he won against the Titan. He just admitted loss because his sword was made from the dragon bone, and he was like, this was not my win because I did not win on my own power.
Yeah,
that's what he admitted loss, but technically he won.
Well, he finally actually saw like the real reason and purpose to have it.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a win. It was an actual win for him, but he took it as a true loss because he needed an item, an outside source, in order to actually give him the ability to do so. But yeah, so now coming forward, we'll actually get probably tightened up Dark at some point, maybe. I don't know.
Using the walking and
talking
on its
Titan.
own.
Yeah, the walking, talking, smart-ass Titan. Another character to basically tell him what the fuck to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he's still got the aqua ring on, and she's just been silent right now, but in any minute she could just show up and talk shit. And the Titan also did the same thing. So
yeah, First time that Dark got in there, he was like, man, who the fuck?
I love he's like, oh, I take up a lot of power. And he's like, well, you should move. And he's like, this is as far as I can go. One step. That's about as much power as you got right now. But yeah, after the end of the chapter, he gets bumped up to a new title with Duke and land, as well as the role of basically building the land up and making it prosperous. But in this chapter, we go back and we finally see the group again, because they've been MIA for a little bit. Yes.
Yeah, we get to see the mercenary group show up, and they get hit with the proposition of joining the Knights Legion.
Yes. So they're going to be joining up with the armies. Well, at first they thought they were getting news that they were basically going to be killed, but it turned out that they were just being given an offer to join the Knights Legion. Now, I believe in the chapter they did say that it will be under Dark still, I believe. Right?
Yes. It's just no longer Dark Clyde.
Yes.
Because they're like, well, Baron Dark Clyde doesn't exist anymore. It's like, really? Is this where you want to go? Like, just tug at us, be like, well, son of a bitch, you killed him. No, that's not how this works.
Yes, you killed the guy who apparently got stolen by a dragon for a month and a half, but somehow you did it. You managed. No,
they didn't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't know that.
Yeah, Dark got kidnapped. They weren't aware of it. They were off fighting out on the outskirts while they were.
Well, they looked. The last time we saw them, looked like they were returning from a mission.
Yeah, they were sent out on a mission. Yeah, so they weren't not there when Dark got kidnapped.
Okay, that's right. So, so our mercenary groups made the offer for this. Now, since I just sped read through it real quick, so did they accepted the offer at the end of it all, and they got new terms?
I mean, it's correct? Assuming they accepted because, what's his name? The guy with the long hair, kind of he narrowed it down. He's like, no, if you guys are talking about this the way you're talking about it, then the only way this works out is if Dark got a new title and basically you're going to hand us back to Dark is what it is. Yeah. And then we get his kind of background a bit. We don't get told definitively what his background is.
We've had
a little snippet of
enough of the blind guys. It's probably important later on, but enough to us to realize that he's probably a former royalty or something, and he just revoked. Yeah, he just revoked his name and title or whatever.
We've already been given a pre-hint before.
Move along to go become a mercenary.
Yeah, we've gotten a hint that he's of someone of more intelligence and a higher status than he's let on to the rest of the group. Just for the fact that the way that he handled himself in this situation, but there was another one where the way he was talking and basically more or less feeling out the whole air of what was going on. He could you could kind of tell that he has more inside knowledge to at least how all of these different tactics work, more than just a random rogue or mercenary should or know. So, so
he's probably gonna play a more important role later on.
Hopefully,
I hope he does. To be honest,
I kind of wouldn't.
Really cool character.
Yeah,
I think more than just a role. It's also the fact that they expanded on is he a spy from the other country or whatever. Because that country still exists as basically on the other side of the border, right? So they were like, oh, should we worry because is he a spy or anything? And obviously they were like, we use magic to tell if he was a spy, and he's not a fucking spy.
Yeah, they are.
He's just a dude living his life one day at a time.
Yeah. Well, we didn't ask all the proper questions maybe, but we scried and we didn't find anything suspicious. So. Now I wouldn't be surprised since he knows so much if he maybe becomes more or less like a advisor to Dark, since Dark still probably doesn't know too much of how the political standings of the world works, at least here. He's not a complete idiot.
He doesn't care how the political standings works. He's like,
but as he gets more,
just punch real hard.
Yes,
and this is my answer here.
But we do know that we do know that Dark is not a complete idiot and doesn't just always go to punch real hard, because he has some sense okay, that's not going to work, and this may make the situation worse for me. So he's definitely shown some level of intelligence, but having a person in the group now that actually maybe knows a little bit more might be more beneficial to him to navigate some of the other parts rather than just straight fighting. Especially with him now having that title of Baron in land, now politics is kind of gonna have to come into play.
Especially if he's gonna have to make his own land become something.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
make it become a city or something, a small town, whatever.
Exactly. So we'll have to see at least where those other characters.
He's gonna make a cultivation sect. Come on, that's how this works, right?
He's gonna build his own
not.
sect.
This is not Cultivator Against Hero Society. He's not just.
He just wants to build a sect, all right?
He has shown no interest in building a sect. Even
home.
But that doesn't mean it won't happen, though. I'm just saying.
Even after getting turned into a little girl, he still didn't care. He just wanted to leave.
He's just like, I want to go home. Is that too much to ask for? Man, it's like Death March, bro. Homie just wants to go home.
Man, just give that boy a juice bottle. He's done for the day. Yeah. So we'll have to see where this definitely goes with. I mean, I'm guessing that at least they'll all meet up back at his brand new digs, because I'm sure that'll at least come up. I'm kind of wondering if his, because they haven't shown her again, if his, I don't want to say life partner now, but the cat maid from the castle will now also be with him.
I'm sure she will.
I'm guessing she will.
Because they said that most beastmen are very loyal
to the master.
And she seemed to really like Dark.
Well, he did save her that one time, so.
Saved her that one time.
Dark is the only one who's nice to her, so.
Yeah, Dark was the only one nice to her, you know. So she's definitely going to make a comeback, and I hope so.
I do too. I'm still waiting to see also when our homeboy from the other land, the Gosu, and the spiritualists are going to make an appearance again, because they can't just be one-offs and just show up every now and then. I feel like they have a way bigger role to play much later on in the story.
Especially when it comes to trying to get Dark.
Yeah. I mean, that was their main target.
To kidnap him,
I mean, they tried it once, and he was weaker, but now it's like, all right, you want to try again after the Awakening, and now it's Dragon Train, you know? Like, I feel like
Dragon,
I feel like they'll show up and they'll be like, oh, this is different. Maybe we should make plan B go forward now, because we can't just kidnap anymore. But yeah, so I'll be excited to see when those two maybe make an appearance again. I am still waiting for any of the other like extremely powerful elemental animals to make more appearances. We know that there's at least a few more dragons out there. I don't know if the Elf King will show back up. I feel like he's kind of way in the distance, but we'll see. There's still a lot to explore here. So hopefully with the next chapter, we'll get to the new town and the new digs.
The next story arc.
Yes, we'll finally get to that, and we'll get to the new town, the new digs. See what the group's got in store for them going forward. I don't think we've gotten any. He's actually received any good news about like the spell getting that broken, because I'm pretty sure the wizard said that gets
Mookhyang Dark Lady. It's not happening for a long ass time.
They have to, in order for them to break the spell, they have to go to the source.
Yeah, so
they have to go find this entire demon god thing, whatever the fuck it is. And fuck his day up.
Yeah, they have to. He basically has to fulfill what the gods want him to do, anyways.
Yeah, well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we've got multiple different gods wanting multiple different things, so we'll see. Speaking of gods, let's actually start for our first time into another fight back in high school. How we're gonna see it, we'll talk about the gods of high school going forward here. Look at you, you're just like, what?
High school?
High school? What?
I don't even know what this thing is called, the god of high school.
God of high
17
school.
years later, fam, they're like 3
you-
years old.
Just remember that time, way back when.
You just graduated, basically, compared to us. You should know what high school is.
Comparably. But yeah, so first time covering this on the cast finally, and we are all the way caught up. I had to speed read the last like 12 chapters to get ready for the night, and yeah, so I was, that face, pretty much what I was at. I was expecting mostly, since now it seems I'm hoping at a final arc of all of this. But I figured we were going to be mostly in straight fight mode, but those last couple of chapters just talk. Flashback, talk, flashback, talk, flashback, talk, flashback. All the way through. But now we're back at a fight. And we're on the Almighty God versus Jin Mori. And
See, this is the part where you admit that the story is not going to end anytime soon because what's his name? The Buddha god, Buddha.
Tagatha.
Yeah, Tagatha. Tagatha is just still sitting in the background. He's just like, all right, it's fine. I'll just wait. So that means we're not done yet. That's the problem here.
Well, he says, "I'll follow you."
I want my power to go fight this dude, and I'm just gonna sit here and watch.
Yeah, he's like I'll just say because we're not done yet is what it is.
We'll
and
see.
I don't think we're anywhere near actually done.
Well, he's slowly transforming. He's gotten. It seems like he's getting into that form, at least from the prophecy. Is what I've seen, because it says right after supposedly when he's consumed and they are now one. The next part is that he's supposed to have like the red wings that he beats, and he has grown the wings. So I think that they are at that point.
Red wings.
Mubang. He has red wings now. Like you see like the wings kind of start to appear in one of the panels too.
Oh,
so he's got.
I could have sworn the only red wings I saw was when Hades, when
the devil showed up.
Yeah, when Satan shows up.
666.
Yeah. But no, I swear I saw that panel. He had the wings, so I think that they're at the point like they are. Almost in complete they're almost in complete like synchronization where they're supposed to be.
But it's not synchronization. It's like just control. It's what it is.
Well, I mean, I don't know how it's supposed to actually work because they haven't talked about that in the prophecy. If it's supposed to be like a continual like fight balance, because it's supposed to be the one half, and I don't know if it's two minds that are just balancing each other out and arguing to keep each other in some kind of stable mind. Or if it is a dominance thing where it's just like, all right, one person just takes over after consuming the other, and then that you just gain all the power. But I'm just gonna say now, Mubang's part, at least his plan now going forward is he's pretty much just said fuck humanity and fuck the gods.
No, he said fuck the weak. He didn't say fuck humanity.
Well, fuck current humanity.
Not exactly. He says anyone who can survive this is like will exist in the new world. He never said like fuck humanity as a whole. That's why he was just like, oh, my unborn child that couldn't survive. Well, it was his fault for being weak. Everyone else who's dying due to the gods coming and like this basically Ragnarok happening or the end of the world, the apocalypse happening. Anyone who doesn't survive this attack, well, it's their fault for being weak. Well, he's at no point is he actually saying like fuck humanity.
He's still kind of saying fuck humanity because I mean the whole point of him building this up was trying to get to Generation X, which supposedly he has, but now he's even put them on the chopping block.
But the problem with Generation X is that he was doing it because he was like, oh, the prophecy talks about this and this is what I believe it will be. Now that he's realized that it just like it was irrelevant of like whether or not Generation X existed, because if you were not strong enough, it's irrelevant. That's why he was like, oh, why are you trying to kill me? He's like, because I saw you try to destroy the world and I had to stop that. Yeah. And he's like, well, that's your fault for being weak. That's basically what it is. He no longer cares about whether or not you are human or you're a god or whatever. It's just, if you're weak, you die. That's all it is.
It seemed like he said he was going to kill all gods, and then he was going to just massacre most of the humans, and whoever survived that would be allowed to continue forward. Because I'm pretty sure one of the lines was, I hate the gods, they'll die, and then whoever doesn't survive of the humans will just die, and those who do are the ones who are the chosen real humans to go forward. So I still think he still keeps the hatred of the gods pretty hard down on himself, but even then, I'd still say I'm still gonna say that's a big fuck humanity. I mean, it's like
pretty much because it's
if you're
like 99.9% of humanity gone.
Yeah, exactly. And also, what happens if the Bible says everyone fails the test? Well, all humanity dies. Well, they were all weak. Well, that would still be a fuck humanity then, because it could just be some of the gods survive only and all the humans die because they don't give you the skin.
Gods aren't humanity.
Yes, they aren't. And I mean, even when he becomes to the Almighty, he makes that point and he's like, oh God, I thought borrowed powers brought us up to the level of gods, or at least somewhere. And he's like, oh no, they've always been this scale way higher than we could have imagined. It's just been this minimal increment of a few people just because it's like we were nowhere close. So, and even with that, it's just after so many chapters of like going through with the backstory and him constantly throwing out that line of humanism of for humans, by humans, with humans at the top, and then now like I don't know if I would say this like is enlightenment or something, but now just given all this power, and he's just like, all right, no, that was all just no. That was
a ruse.
That was a ruse. You know, I was just like, I'm like, what? Really?
He hit them with that full 180. It was like, y'all just got bamboozled. I'll see you later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is going to potentially be another just complete double cross or switcheroo on something, because like even so, it's like he's apparently not doing Munsuk's request of bringing back his sister. Granted, the vision that he gets when he's being asked to make the choice is of his sister, of that one dude's sister, and just even when Tagatha, is that how you say that right? Tagatha gets there, something like that, and he starts speaking to him. It's just like
Buddha. There we go.
Yeah, it's weird because like the two, like on the outside we have this new version of him with the full white hair, and he's got the crown on, and then on the inside, and on the internal it's still like the old version of him. He's still missing one arm and like the weird mechanical bone leg he's got. So it's hard to tell like how much is like. Is this still him, his internal self really there that's actually battling this out, or is this like some mix between? How
much humanity is actually still
how much
to the god that has been taking over?
Exactly. So yeah, there's quite a bit to unpack in so many different levels. Now I know, Ark, you brought up the fact that you were really not happy with them introducing suddenly the guardian pillars.
I suddenly have 4 guardians, but I totally was like, hey, I want to kill all the gods too, and I was like, okay,
aren't they gods?
Why? Why would you? At what point was he like, okay, I'm fine now having these 4 guardians too, and I'm like,
well,
wait, what? And then at the same time, like, do you understand this? At some point, Odin was already like, hey, let me offer my allegiance to you because you are now the one true god. And then he's like, nah, die, everyone.
Can you just kill yourself?
What differentiates these 4 guardians for the rest of the gods who offer like their allegiance to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if your thing is strength, if his whole thing is only the strongest, well, I think the 4 guardian gods are probably the strongest of all of the other gods to serve him.
There's no point to introduce these 4 characters because it should just be a fight against Jin and Mookhyang Park and then be done. Can we just have that? Because I don't want more characters introduced anymore. We basically already resolved Dai's and Mira's like story.
We resolved Dai and Mira's story.
Okay, we resolved that. There's no more to go from here, basically. All right, besides us seeing hopefully a happy ending between the two. But then I'm like, all we need here is just Mori to defeat Mookhyang Park, and we're fine, and we're done. We can be done, guys. We don't need any more backstory.
We know that at least Danwi and Mira want to be there to beat the shit out of him too, because they also deserve some hits. But also, there's still the closing arc with
3v1 fight because look, Mookhyang Park is super powerful, and we need the power of the Jade Emperor to fight against them. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening here. They're introducing like more fighters now that I'm like, I don't care about these guys.
We'll have to see how even an important role
to be over, please.
He just wants a fight between Mori and Moojin.
The story is so close to be finished. Can we just cross the fucking line?
I'm fine with random new gods appearing. We've already gotten them in the previous fight.
So long.
I mean, it's been stretching just to get to this fight.
We had so many. Okay, if we didn't get the second Mori Jin clone story arc,
you probably would be.
would not be as bad right now because I'm like, why did we have that? Why are we stretching out the story longer than it should be? But we kept on going, and they were like, all right, guys, now we're gonna have like 10, 12, a dozen chapters for Moobong Park's backstory. And I'm like, but I don't care.
We
He's the bad guy. I don't need to know why I need to sympathize with him because I shouldn't have to sympathize with him when his decision right now is to be like, fuck everyone, only the strong can survive. Like, why give me sympathy for a character when there's no point for the sympathy for the character?
Yeah, that did hit me too. I was definitely a lot on that boat of just like, why am I still learning about the sadness of this character?
At some point, Moobong, at the end of that flashback in Moobong Park, fought against it and when he got like Tatagata's power, it was like, oh no, let me prove you wrong that I wasn't going to do what you thought I was going to do. Then I'm like, oh cool, there's a point to the flashback. But there was none of that. There's none of that. There was like none. Nothing at all.
I mean, I think at this point, it's they just the author just really wanted to show like.
Let me put together a really cool fight scene, guys. They were like, I've already seen the cool fight scenes.
I'm trying to say, I think the reason for just the long-windedness of trying to get him to be sympathetic is just to show, like, when he makes this decision, just how low and how far gone he truly is. Like, there should be nobody on his team now that could.
His baby's mama got shot in the fucking stomach and his baby died. That should have been enough of a reason for him to just turn on humanity. I wouldn't fine for that as a reason. I did not need to have more of a fucking flashback to see like, oh, this is like the umpteenth time I've been betrayed by humanity and now I decide. Do you understand that? That's the fucking problem here. Like, well, it was like, oh.
I think the hammering home of it is a bit much because I mean he, like I said, the constant trope line of him like for human by human blah 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 blah, you know, he didn't care how much they were shitty. He was going to put all his effort in to make sure that they were at the top or have the chance to rise to the top, and then just to show at the end like, yeah, no matter, even when you're doing supposedly the good thing, you know, humans will still fuck you over at the end of the day. And you know, just to have him make that decision, okay, he's like, all right, finally, like he's just broken down and like, nope, screw it. It has nothing to do with humanity anymore. It's not about that. It's just, if you're strong, you'll be able to survive this. If you're weak, just get the fuck out, because all the problems come from the weak. And, you know, when they finally have him cross that line, you know, like, okay, now none of the other characters should be able to like throw sympathy at him anymore. Because, like, the only person left in there were all the Generation X kids, were the ones that were, like, still on his side. But it's like, okay, are you still going to be on his side now after all of this? And which is what I'm hoping with, because, I mean, even with Dean finally, like...
No, because the problem with that was there were still the idiots who were like, oh, we're still with him. And so that's why I was like...
Well, it was only the Generation X that were with him, and it was only the one kid. Like, Dean was having just the whole, like...
No, Dean was the only one because he was like, I can see the future, but the rest of the Generation X kids were still behind Moobong Park.
Yeah.
And even more so, what happened was because of the way Moobong Park treated them, they're like, oh, Moobong Park just did nothing but like increase more racism, right? Like he was more like, oh, yeah, he was like, I was like, Moobong Park, you solved absolutely nothing at this point.
Well, they're all behind. Well, the two kids were behind him. It's like, just because we treated us like good people, like actual people, where everyone else treated us like dirt. And that's before he made the decision.
Now it's time for us to treat them like dirt. And I was like, man, this solves absolutely fucking nothing. I don't know where we're going with this. There's no lesson. Just go on, man. Like, just go to another fight.
You're breaking your mic.
Just fight real good. Just fight real good and be done, guys.
Inhaling too much rage into your mic.
You're inhaling way too much rage. You're breaking your mic. Calm down. Okay. So, all right. Well, everyone at least got the caught up in the rage that we were at this point for the chapter. So, we're gonna expect, I'm guessing, the next couple of chapters. Do you think we're gonna get like introductions and super cool names and like
backstories for the four pillars, or you think they're just gonna fight?
I hope they just fight.
I'm kind of guessing they're just gonna
just fight. But like I already said, they mentioned the connection between the Dragon King and also Mori Jin already. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that. I am like 80% sure we're gonna get that as a story. 85% sure we're gonna get that as a backstory. The other 15%, if I am wrong, I will be happy to be wrong. Okay, I will be so fucking happy to be wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong.
He'll start the entire episode with, you know what? I'm not as mad as I could be. And we'll stop. We'll be done with the whole episode right there, Seraph. We'll just be like, okay, we can't do this.
We're done. It's over. We're done.
He's too gone. We'll come back in the week after. Well, we'll have to see with the next chapter. Granted, I have not gone through Fast Pass to catch all the way up. But I'm sure if I even scope through a few of the comments, someone's probably already spoiled it or said exactly what's occurring. But we'll wait. We'll see if your prediction comes true.
3 more chapters or flashbacks.
I could only hope. For multiple.
Just to make me mad?
Yes.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, it's not making you mad. It's just, it's a thing.
Bringing all the life and energy here, man.
It's what it brings forth. All right, well, let's move on from this one before Art completely loses his shit. Let's move over here. How about we drop down into some levels with the solo master?
Cool.
So,
boy,
Seraph.
Bodies is dropping.
Bodies
is dropping in this high school.
I mean, after they showed up, I was like, you knew some bodies were gonna drop. I mean, that one shot of just multiple rooms and just blood. I was like, these kids weren't ready.
No. Quick question. Were we introduced to his sister's best friend before or something?
Yeah, I believe when he went to the school the first time after he recovered, I believe she's the one that commented on it.
Okay, because I was like, I feel like we've seen her before, but I don't remember if we got a hint that, oh, guys, she's a source of magical well power or whatever.
Also, I actually got to check to see the character that might also be the one girl that went into the dungeon with him. Because she's
the one that's right next to her, where she's like, "I'm only an E rank."
Yeah, she's the one that. Yeah, she's the one that went into the dungeon.
No, I think you're right. No, I think you're right. It is her.
Yeah, it's
her. Who went into the dungeon with
Jinho. Because she thought he will. She wanted to become. Yeah, sorry, not Jinho. Jinwoo.
Oh, that's all one.
Yeah. So many Wu, so many Jins. Mu Jin, Moonbark Pang Jin, Jinwoo, Jinho. It's Jins everywhere. If someone throws in Dijin, I'm just gonna lose my shit. But
I mean, it's better than Wuxia stuff where it's like that guy is named Tang, that guy is named Tang, and we're gonna continue with the Tangs. And you're like, oh, now he's fighting against a guy who's named Tang. What?
Who is this?
At this point, I just walk out the room. But no, so yeah, I think that was the homegirl that went to the dungeon with him because she wanted to just join up and be a ranker going forward, but he basically told her no, and that she just stay in school.
And then he showed her the reasons why, so that didn't show her what's up.
Yeah, like, this isn't a joke, motherfuckers get killed.
This isn't a regular job that you can do.
Yeah, if you can do something else, do something else.
This isn't worth your life.
Well, she's getting another lesson on that right in front of her now, because so the school gets attacked. Man, I mean, even with the one girl calling the hunters, they were just, no one was ready for this, and they're slow to respond.
Man, that girl over the phone, she was giving them false hope.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, no, you're done. You're done.
High key, giving them mad false hope throughout the entire thing.
But we do get to see, like, right when, of course, they corner the sister, and she's about to get swung on, and all three of his shadows show up to throw the defense, and he just super uppercut through the roof.
Oh, through the fucking roof! So there's a whole lot of that shit, fam. And then they just, like, right after, they just show the panel of the three of them standing there. I'm like, yeah, that shit's badass. That's worthy right there, dude.
It's a super dragon punch if I've ever seen one.
Man, he hit that Falcon punch.
So hard.
But
short you can, man.
so homeboy, the shadows are out, and he is still in the dungeon. But of course, because he used the shadow exchange, he can't get back. I believe Seraph, though, you did say something that they do have communication, though. So
Between the shadows and Jinwoo.
yeah, so
That's how he knew. Because
he's informed that they've all popped
there's
out.
trouble.
Yes.
That there's trouble.
He doesn't know what, but he knows that all of them are out, and that doesn't happen on a normal base. So, yeah, so they're in the middle of the dungeon. He's, of course, not caring about it too much because, you know, it's nothing to him. But it is definitely a stronger dungeon because the first monster that comes out happens to be a rather high-ranking one. But the interesting thing, that goes out of this is after they destroy the first monster and they start going through a little more, some of the mobs for some reason are seemingly scampering away, and that's when our homeboy gets, you know, the sense.
No, it's because the dungeon is an undead dungeon,
Yes,
and they were scamping away from him because they're like, oh no, shit, it's a better necromancer. And he was just like,
that's what I was trying to get to. But like by the end of it, when he's running out to get out, a horde shows up and they just kneel to him. He doesn't shadow them. He doesn't kill them. They just kneel. So, yeah. So because, like you said, because he himself is a necromancer, his power is just so overwhelming that now other undead will just instantly assume to him as the ruler over whatever current person summoned them. So, guessing that they'll find a necromancer at the end of the dungeon, but I'm wondering if, you know, he is going to take care of the situation out there and then show back up, and the necromancer itself will just be like, oh, never mind, and just walk off.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I want to say we hasn't fought any other undead creatures so far, so we haven't seen this kind of thing pop up before. But just to have mobs like submit to him right away, hopefully, I don't know if that maybe give him a new thought or idea to the level of his abilities,
or to, you know, recruit these guys.
Yeah, like if he could find an undead dungeon, he's pretty much got himself, you know, a new army without having to exchange any power. He could just
without having to turn into shadows or anything.
Exactly. Yeah, he could just make them go do what he wants because they'll.
The only issue is bringing them out of the dungeon without being shadows.
That's the other thing that I was gonna wonder if he can command them.
Him walking out with a whole ass army of undead behind him, bro.
I don't even want to know what the association would do. Like if they would just instantly turn on him. That would just be a whole new level of shit.
The whole world would just be like, what?
But yeah, homeboy hops on dragon and heads off to school.
And he makes sure to activate his special ability to boost that speed up. So he's gonna turn like a 2-hour trip to like a fucking 30-minute trip.
Hopefully.
Because, you know, a regular drive from Busan to Seoul is like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So hopefully when we get there, we know he's going to save Sis, but I'm kind of wondering if he'll get some information from, you know, the orcs that are rolling around, because they clearly seem like they've got a goal. They're trying to clear out the whole school and set up a nest or a base of operations.
They're going to siege this castle.
Yes, siege the castle. But yeah, with this being like one of the first unknown, at least unusual, like actual dungeon breaks ahead of schedule, and him once again displaying more of his powers, do we see either him not getting there right away and some of the other hunters showing up and doing some stuff ahead of schedule, or you know, just this is save the day for him, or maybe even his sister may pop out of an ability?
I mean, it'd be pretty sweet if his sister awakened, to see that I happen to follow along the family branch of the dad side.
Man,
you know?
How would this not be cool if dad showed up?
Bro, honestly, I was kind of hoping. Like we don't see enough of Daddy Wu.
I mean, I'm just saying, my little baby's in trouble, and big scary monster. who would be best to show up?
He'll just yeet out of the dungeon, the gates, and be like, "So, who's hurting my little girl?"
He does the one-man punch. He just like smacks one of them, and the whole school, like just all the back of the school, is just a giant crater going backwards.
Hit the one punch man when he punched fucking Genos.
Yeah. Just
crater, dude.
Oh, but yeah.
Honestly, I could see Jinwoo getting there before the other hunters because like they're all already probably doing something.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were called, they've been prepped.
Been on first responders for being like that, You can't just send a police to a dungeon break. No, you got to send full-fledged, higher ranking hunters because the way that she explained it seemed like these guys were like, top-notch creatures compared to like your basic B rank, C rank dungeon, So they were like, all right, we got to send out some of the top tier guys, but then like as you know, a bunch of them
just went into a dungeon, so now they gotta
a bunch of them just went into dungeons to do things, so they can't really send out their top tier guys.
Yeah, so
to go handle the situation.
So they kind of caught between a rock and a hard place with that. So, also, back in the dungeon though, he left Beerus there.
Beruem, homie.
Sorry, Beruem. He just left him there. And
like,
pretty sure he's gonna clear the dungeon for him.
Yeah, pretty much, because he didn't really give him any specifics on let these guys handle it, but then just help them when they need it. He's just like, protect the humans. What about everybody else? Kill them.
Do what you want. He's just like, yes.
Be relentless and just off every fucking buddy.
It wouldn't surprise
me. Not a human,
It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all. But, yeah, so we've got Homeboy headed back. We got kind of an effed up situation. Do we see him, after clearing out the school, do we see him going into the dungeon and trying to clear it out? Not that one, but the one in the school. Because, I mean, as long as the portal's open, monsters can still pour through. Do you think that he'll go in and we'll find a different one?
That's what's gonna happen because like he's gonna be the only one there, and you can't just let that bitch sit open after there's been already an outbreak. Yeah. Because we've already seen what happened to Jeju Island.
We have.
Let that bitch sit for too long.
Well, it becomes
more and more come out.
Higher levels can start breaking through. So now, do we think we'll find anything? We'll find just a regular normal dungeon going through, or we're gonna find something different with this being, as odd about it as it is.
Seeing the system in Jinwoo, it's gonna take a turn. It's definitely gonna take a turn.
Turns into a new triple S rank dungeon just because he walks in.
No, I think he ends up meeting the guys who are looking for the quote unquote lights or whatever it is.
One of the
monarchs.
One of the other monarchs.
Yeah. Because it definitely sounds like the orcs were there looking.
They were scouting for sure.
They were scouting.
They were scouting for stuff, and they were in particular looking for the sister's friend. Like they were like, oh no, this is what we're looking for, like specifically that. So.
So they did seem like they had a mission that they were on while they were there. So
maybe that's what they mean by like the lights, I guess. Like
maybe it could be something specific
wells of like power like that.
Possible. It's very possible. We'll have to see once he actually shows up. I'm sure once that occurs, the other orcs may like react or do something, or they'll like, hey, we found what we were looking for, send word back to whoever and get more people out here. So, but yeah, we'll have to see. So after all of that though, just amount of crazy that came through all of it, we still on still doing strong and good with this one so far. I mean, with our homeboy. I did not hear a word you said, Ark.
I said I haven't dropped it yet.
That's good. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get some more going forward with this one. At least the story is moving. We're doing something, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
We're starting to go from that break into something a little bit more.
Exactly. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next one here. I know it's been a little bit, but we'll see how Papa Noah is doing over in Peerless Dad.
The dad. We was just talking about Daddy Woo. Papa.
Now we gotta talk about more papas. So, yep, we're still in the middle of homeboy fight.
A ridiculous fight.
Yeah, that dude is not going down at all easily. But there was a break at least.
Mid-tank.
Yeah, but there was a break at least. We did see some chinks in the armor finally, and that's when we saw the red eyes appear. So we got we got him now. He's actually hurt, and that's when our good homeboy decided to now take up into the fight. But his comment was, he's like, no, I'm not trying to kill him yet. I need him to kill some of you, and then I'll take care of him.
Because he was like, man, you three are just a burden. Y'all gotta get out of here. Slow me down.
I mean, it's not even slowing him down. It's like, well, they're all enemies. Even the ones that are fighting, they're all enemies. So it's like, well, if I take care of them for me, there's potential chance they're going to come after me next. And this is not a favorable situation at all. So he's at least showing like tactical thinking here, you know, knowing he can't beat the guy in a one-on-one fight just because he's still not 100% sure exactly where he knows all of these moves from or the abilities, but he knows them better than Papa does, so he's got to be a little bit worried on that level. But clearly there is a limit to either how much you can use, which is probably why he was told about like never get to the point that you don't feel pain.
Well, this doesn't help that he doesn't know all the techniques either, because piss on the book.
Well,
yeah, piss on the book, completely ruined.
I actually think he could have actually been better if he actively fought against the guy with the other enemies, because at least then he would have been able to he was managing it too much to not to also have them fight against each other, which is why he ended up being hurt so badly, because the fight went longer than it should have, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it seems like he got a lot of knowledge just by watching the guy, and that's where he was gaining a lot of that experience. And I think this probably would have been better because even when he had the book, he couldn't translate it. It didn't make sense to him. But now actually seeing it out, someone actually performing it, he's starting to piece together the pages as he remembers them. So now he's like gaining that extra bit of knowledge for him. Because I mean,
visual
yeah,
learner.
exactly. Like most of his training's been like that. He's always been better, visually taking in the stimuli rather than, learning, sitting down and just studying it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, with the fight dragging out on as it is and everything kind of seemingly winding down, we did get to the final lull of it with him getting to kill off the other warriors that were in the area. And then him striking a blow against Homeboy, and basically he passes out at the end of it at the fray. I don't know if Homeboy's dead, but he's down at least.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the story took a little bit of a weird turn for me, because then they switched back to the other warriors all battling it out in the fields, and I thought those were the other first-rate warriors that he was with, but it wasn't. It was
a whole different faction.
It was the group that was helping him, that was attacking Psycho group, and the Psychos were there. They were attacking out. But then all of a sudden, just an unknown assassin group shows up, and they wasted no time, and they killed off every one of the Psycho guys. Challenge.
They're not unknown. They're the guys who belong to
Well, I said they were unknown until we finally
all of Miram and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were unknown until we find out it was actually from, little man's dad shows up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now we've got him in the picture, in the mix.
He was always in the mix.
Well, he hadn't made really any moves that we'd seen that had influenced the story too much. It was mostly talk from him about what he was kind of doing, maybe. And then when, his son showed up, and he had that exchange with Now, and how that all worked out, and then him wanting to gain Now at some point, and then the dad like saying, well, you know, if my son, you know, does something, it's in reflection of me. It's no different as if he were speaking, if I were speaking. And now we're actually seeing a display of power from him, with him, you know, showing up in this battlefield.
but like for what reason? You know,
Mhm.
I'm still not sure like where he actually fits into the equation of what's going on currently, especially if this, you know, this weird battle is supposed to be between the, you know, the Heavenly Dragon School and their region, and then this other.
He's from the anti-Miram faction. He wants to get rid of them.
Is he from the Anti-Miram faction?
Yeah, that's like, you know, like they had the stories before where they're like, there's the guy who at one point like wants to control the Miram and everything, but no one wanted to listen, so he's like, well, I'm anti-Miram then. Like they talked about it earlier on.
Okay.
He is definitely the guy who they told the dad to like watch out for. Be like, no, this guy like is definitely against fighters basically, and because they don't contribute to anything basically.
It's hard to say. I mean, I don't have a full picture exactly on what their goal is, especially for the idea that like in the middle of this fight they just kill off all this random mob. Like, why just kill them? And then they run off. They leave all the other warriors. If they're supposed to be anti-Miram, then why are they taking out, you know, none of the other factions too?
Because they wanted to have the factions like actually fight against each other, so they don't know like who the third party is right now. That's what it is.
Okay, so I mean, but is he the one orchestrating all of the fights too, or is he just kind of playing a seat, you know, just maybe stoking some flames in certain areas and then getting these fights to occur?
He's just stoking the fights right now.
Okay,
stoking the flames.
All right. Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure on his overall character, especially with the son and whatever he's trying to do, and his deal with the two like elderly twins and them wanting the two other twins, and we still have, you know, the demonic, or not the demonic cult, they're the heavenly demonic cult.
Yes, the heavenly demonic.
The heavenly demonic cult is still out in the mix doing fuck all.
Heavenly demonic stuff.
Well, they're taking out the demonic cult. She was out taking out the demonic cult as they found them.
Their investigation led them to discover that it was this guy. Like it is involving the anti-Miram group basically.
Okay. So yeah.
Not by name, but that's what it's like. It's heavily implied. Like he was like, oh wait, it's definitely involving like basically this guy here.
Okay. Yeah, there's still a lot of players that haven't like made constant appearances or haven't spoken up in a few chapters, so you kind of forgotten about them over the time as everything's gone on. But okay, so we're now getting a little bit of this insight with the anti-Miram group, and at least what they're trying or what they're supposedly going for. The fight between Brother Now and Homeboy is done. He's passed out. So do we think in the next chapter we're going to swap back to the kids, because they're still in the middle of a fight against all of the other students from that school?
Hopefully we get to see the kids again.
I mean, I figure we will, but I'm not sure if we'll get that in that next one coming up, or if we'll get more or we'll get more like
in depth with
this guy, what's going on, like what his plan is.
Honestly, I like to see the kids again. Watch them mop the floor with 30 dudes. So that's a me
we're gonna
thing.
watch the sister actually use.
We're gonna watch
ability.
the sister mop the floor with 30 dudes.
All right, the sister in particular to mop the floor with 30 kids.
Because I feel the brothers are gonna try and stand up because they're supposed to do, but she's just gonna no. Let me handle this. You go sit down.
Back up.
Especially after they saw what she did prior. But yeah, so hopefully the next chapter we get back to the kids and see how they handle that situation, because I do want to see some just new age martial arts just whoop somebody's ass all over that place. Oh no, she got pulled out of the battle. That's right, the one guard came in and pulled out the what's her name, Xiao Yang, yeah, out of it. So she's safe, she's good. All right. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I got, because we only had one chapter out of that one too. That was one of our short ones out of the week. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll move on here. We should be on our very, very last one, and of course, I saved this one for the good one. Beginning after the end.
Save the best for last.
As always, as you gotta do. So,
Art has made it out of the trial. Of course, some backdoor dealings working with the judge as well as the guildmaster. And this one was just more or less a nice little, conversational exchange. There wasn't too many big things coming out, but the cute moment of him like opening the door after speaking to the judge, and then all you hear is what, Papa, and she just runs up and straight in the balls. headbutt to the parts,
and then she fucking headbutt. Like the scene right after that is Sylvie headbutting Lucas in the nuts.
I just like you see home.
That's perfect.
He's just like,
but you see, he's just like, oh god.
Yeah, he just hunched over like he feels it, and I like that Jasmine's in the corner just smiling, just like, oh, that's not nice. It's like, I just got us a deal, but. Yeah, so he's closed the deal. He basically he's not banned from the guild, right? He's just suspended currently.
He's just banned from like the city.
No.
Yeah, he's banned.
Note is banned.
I didn't say Art. I said like, yeah.
Banned,
Note is banned from the city, but not the guild. And
Art can still go into the city, but like because of Art's age, he can't go into a guild per se.
Yes, he's not supposed.
So that's why he's.
Well, that's why the whole
Arthur
shadow clandestine thing.
Going to school.
So yeah, so he's taking care of the situation there, at least with that. So now he's gonna head to the school to start classes, and he can without any baggage on his back or having a target, since Lucas does not know who he is. And supposedly he's been given the word that he'll be watched accordingly, since having that trial. But now we've got, after the end of everything, the entire group basically decides that they were going to split up, but now they're all heading back home. I kind of thought at the end panel that when they were showing that gateway, I thought that was going to be like the gateway to the school, and we were going to see our girl show up finally. I kind of thought we were going to see
chapter. Next chapter.
It would have been a nice way to end it. I thought that's what was going to happen, but
that would have been a wholesome way to end it after like this whole
arc. Yeah,
because like we got to see a little bit more between our Note and Ethan.
Yeah,
you know, like
he
he's like, oh
Ethan
yeah,
to go to school.
We'll take care of it for you, bro. Don't worry about the funds. Don't worry about all this shit. I know the principal. We got you. Feel, you know, like.
I mean, when your boy got the ends like that,
like Arthur being the big brother and Ethan being the little brother.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a little bit.
Building that nice bond between
because
friends.
Like it's time to build them further on as they go. Because when Ethan was first introduced, he seemed just kind of like sus.
He kind of was.
Lucas was definitely sus. I
mean, Lucas was on some other shit.
But then we get to see as to how cool Ethan is, and how nice of a guy he is.
Yep. And a little bit of his history and past.
Seeing how like he could possibly be of a higher up in the Dwarven Kingdom as well. Like we're gonna see a lot more of Ethan. I'm actually really hyped for it because I kind of wanted to see more of him when they first introduced him. Because he was a strange character to begin with.
Oh yeah, I mean he came off as like that, so they kind of set him up that way too. So you kind of had that feeling in the back of your head. But at the end of this, is he headed back home? Is he actually gonna go see his family? I believe.
He said he was gonna meet them back at home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was gonna head back home first and meet them there, and so the nice little. I'm guessing for the next probably in the next couple chapters, 2 or 3, we're gonna get this nice little reunion with everybody again. Mom, Dad, we're gonna see grown a little bit bigger sister, as well as the other young lady. I can't remember the family name again of the master
of the traders.
Yeah,
family,
the trader group. So
I forgot their name. Don't worry.
I did too. I totally did too. But hopefully we'll get to see everyone back up again. I wouldn't mind seeing the rest of the Dad's old group too a little bit, just to see what
the twin horns or something like that.
Just to see what they've been up to. Let me go ahead and I gotta take care of this real quick. I'm getting calls.
I really enjoyed the end panels of the Guildmaster. Seeing Art, and then Art's like super serious about everything. He's like, don't forget people did die. And he's like, yo, chill, I didn't mean that. And then Arthur goes to buy a fucking dimensional ring, and he's like, this small ass thing for so much gold. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
He did look like he was not happy at the amount of grip of gold he had to spend to get that, for sure. So, yeah. Well, hopefully he didn't spend too much. I'm sure he would buy some gifts for everybody, when he gets back to his place.
And also just seeing Sylvie be able to transform between a dragon and something a little bit more common.
It looked like she was like a dragon, and
black
then
to white.
It looked like
Yeah, black to white. But
Yeah.
then, like, she didn't
She
even look
didn't
like a
look like a
dragon
dragon
anymore.
anymore.
She looked like a fucking, like, a fox.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She looked more
You
like a
know.
fox, because before she looked kind of like a kind of lizard, like a small lizard that he could carry
Mhm.
around.
And now she's, like, looks like a regular common fox that a tamer would probably have.
Yeah. So,
You know.
I mean, he did ask how many forms can you take. She said, I don't know, I haven't tried. So that might be a later on skill that we get to see more played out on. I will like
We
to
get to see a little bit more of Sylvie's powers.
Yes, I would like to see more of what she's actually gotten up to since she's grown so much more. I like to see
what
kind
she's
of power
capable
level-
of now. you know?
Exactly. I'm sure there's going to be at least some kind of team combo up between Art when he's in full dragon mode and her, for sure.
Mhm.
But that'll come later. That will definitely come later. So just trying to think, you guys got any predictions here going forward? What you're looking forward to seeing?
You know,
Stuff?
we're already seeing that they're about to go to school. You know, the principal's probably gonna take Arthur off to the side a little bit and give him a little pep talk and be like, so make sure to hold back a lot.
You think she's gonna do that? You think she's not gonna pull him for private lessons?
Yeah, because he's not royalty.
He's not, but he is. It's probably more powerful than most of the students in that entire building. Outside of
I
the
guarantee
higher,
you he's more powerful than the entire school as is.
well, outside of maybe the higher ranking students, or
the
the headmistress, or even like the older students.
But I guarantee you none of the higher ranking students are even that of a double A class.
Probably not.
And you could see that he fucking could duke it out with a double A class, no problem.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely got more power comparably, but we don't want to automatically put him in the OP class just right away, because the whole world hasn't been completely fleshed out, and we don't know about that extra mysterious class, that there may be any students that even have a tap into that could actually give him a run.
You're right.
So there's definitely probably a chance for some people to show up there. What do we
I'm
got?
hoping to see more of Tessia.
Sorry, more who?
Tessia?
Yes. What's our banking that everyone's in the same class? Him, Tessia, Jasmine,
100%.
and Ethan.
Oh, 100%. What do you think, Ark?
Care.
What's up?
No, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. Why not?
Because
He knows what happens, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
he's already read
Yeah.
like. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He already read like multiple
He
novel
knows what
pages
happens,
ahead.
so it's just between us at this point.
Oh, okay. We're the ones that get to play the guess game. Well, I know that we're gonna see Lucas again, as well as we're gonna get into this whole thing with his older brother, who apparently
It's
is
gonna be
the one he needs to worry about.
It's gonna be interesting to see Arthur with Lucas instead of Note with Lucas. Do you think Lucas will end up figuring out who Arthur is?
Lucas doesn't seem smart. Like conniving.
But like based off like if they get into the same class, they have to do the same activities, and Arthur is either A, gonna hold back to show that he's not Note, or B, he's gonna overachieve and show off. And Lucas is gonna put two and two together and be like, wait, Note has those abilities. Hold on.
Well, the one thing is I don't know how many of the abilities he showed in front of Lucas. I know that he's at least showed off, I think, fire and probably lightning, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. So he could choose just to like
use water instead.
Use one of the other abilities that he hasn't seen, and that could kind of throw him off the scent. Because Lucas seems real easy to trick. Like he seems like it's not hard, and it's not difficult to get him to get pissed off either. Like you hit any level, you hit any bit of his pride, and he's on it.
He's already a hothead.
I mean, he straight up attacked an instructor at the guild, so he's not below going that far. So I don't think it'll be too easy to knock him off a pedestal in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, so still fun chapter all the way around. Definitely ready for the next one. I kind of wish this one was on the Webtoon app so that they would actually get a couple chapters ahead, because you can pretty much only buy one at a time for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always on the current one. But yeah.
No fast passes here, boys.
None whatsoever. But all right, that does. Oh nope, we did have one more. We didn't talk about Legendary. I was gonna say, completely left it out.
I was going to say it.
You weren't gonna say it?
No, I was going to say that we missed Legendary.
Oh well, let's definitely get that one in the bag too. I know not too much happened since this one chapter. Back to our normal scent.
He's now living as a homeless man. That's what
I don't understand how. I don't even understand why. Like, I know he spent a lot of money on the war, but I know he gained some shit at the end of it. So
no. It was even more than that. I was so perplexed as to what the fuck was going on with this city.
Oh, the fact
like
that
I saw this city and I was like, wait, is this where everyone who comes here who lives, and everyone's like, hey, how about you do that and I give you exposure.
Just like
this is one of those. This is the art city. It's pretty much the same thing like real life when you're asking for commissions.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay you. I'm just here to give you exposure.
Yeah, I'm here to give you exposure.
I'm gonna show your work off.
What?
So not quite a big win for him at all in a lot of ways. So yeah, I didn't understand. Like, he just came here and he was just instantly panhandling. I'm like, what? I'm pretty sure you got money, but apparently not. So yeah, he spends pretty much a fair amount of the chapter just bumming around the city until he basically goes to the art guild.
He went to the Warriors Guild this chapter, and then he like sat there while somebody was beating the shit out of him.
Oh
to
yeah,
get some extra skills.
to get some extra get some XP,
extra tank skills, and then he goes to the art school.
Yeah. He signs up for the art school, and they basically tell him like the whole history of the city and what it takes to.
You want to join? Make a statue.
Yes, make a statue. But
but
because of his class, he has to make a master class statue.
And he's like, that's easy enough. He's already done it countless times.
Yeah, most of his statues come out to masterclass work, so
even if it's a small one.
So this shouldn't be too hard of a feat for him. But the question is how much notoriety or fame will he gain from it because of that, and how many new issues are going to occur because of his new fame and notoriety. I mean, we already know that most of the big guilds have been looking for him, and it's amazingly enough, he's still managed to basically elude everybody. And he was with the group. They all logged off though, so he's just back in his solo train. But we did go back to the Orc Town, and the chapter ended with showing off, I'm guessing, what is going to be a new character we're going to follow for a little bit. This new
the orc race,
being a part of the orc race, when more people are now playing that class. So I don't think they gave a name for it.
It turns out to be his sister.
I kind of expecting it's gonna be.
Honestly, it's probably gonna be his sister.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, it'd be even better. It'd be even better. It was his grandmother.
Ah!
No, let that be.
Grandma Orc.
That'd be freaking awesome if it was his grandma.
I don't know how you can handle that. Granted, I don't know how you could not tell the giant ass machine in your house. Unless he knows how to give personal space and boundaries. But yeah, so the end being with that unknown character, which I'm gonna guess it's probably his sister or someone close by that he knows. Yeah, not too much to chalk on that chapter all the way around. There was just that weird beginning, poor homeless bit to.
Oh, it's just set up for the next story arc.
That's all
mostly
it is. Set up. I was kind of hoping that by Friday we would have gotten the next chapter so we could talk about it, but it looks like we're on a little bit of a slow schedule again. So 1 to 1 to 1. But either way, all right, that does bring us to the end. We should have gone through all of it. Yeah, so hopefully everyone enjoyed all the talks we had so far. Definitely leave any comments below on any one of the series that we covered, what your thoughts and feelings were for each of the chapters. Definitely any talking points that we may have missed or something that you found actually interesting that we could go back on. Yeah, and while you're at it, tell us if that was the same girl in solo leveling that he met later. There's some homework for you, just in case. But Seraph, you want to roll us out?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Season 2, Episode 2 of the Project Webtoon Podcast. If you guys liked it, make sure to leave a like down below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you guys want to stay updated with our content, make sure to hit that little bell. Comment down below what you guys think of this episode. Comment down below what you guys are going to think for future chapters going on for all the ones that we talked about. And make sure to hit our link tree down below where we have pretty much everything. Our individual Twitters, our main group Twitter, and our many other things we have. Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, yes. Hey, and we did want to thank everyone out there. We did hit 100 subscribers finally. Yeah.
We hit a milestone, boy!
We hit a milestone, so we're hoping to get something planned and set up to celebrate for that here coming up. Definitely thinking about doing a live stream, playing some games, taking a nice little chill and relax, but we'll let everyone know.
No hands. What am I going to do?
You can use your mouth. What are you talking about?
Use your mind, homie.
Yeah, we can just connect it to your brain. It's fine.
I'll make a barcode scanner thing.
I'll just talk shit about you two. It's fine.
Either way, as long as folks join us.
Though?
All right, let's go ahead and roll this out. I am, of course, your big dog. It is Sleepy.
It is your boy Seraph here.
This is Arc out.
Hey, take it easy, everyone out there.